The class was proceeding normally, the teacher standing and lecturing in front of the board, students sitting neatly in their seats. Chu Qing rested his head on the desk, sleeping soundly during the lesson, paying no attention to anything around him. A bespectacled female friend anxiously called Chu Qing to wake him up, trying to rouse him in the quiet classroom. The teacher angrily approached Chu Qing, slammed her hand on the desk, and scolded him for daring to sleep during class while being the class monitor. The teacher named Dong Fei ordered both Chu Qing and Chu Ting to stand outside the classroom, and also demanded Chu Qing to call his parents for a meeting. He was stunned upon hearing about the parent call. Just waking up, Chu Qing shyly asked if it was possible not to call his parents. The homeroom teacher, Ms. Tong Fei, was furious because he slept during class and disrupted the lesson. Song Kaoran also bowed his head to admit fault, surprising Chu Qing. He decided to follow suit and admit his own mistake. Chu Qing smiled and sincerely apologized for sleeping in class, promising not to disturb anyone when he sleeps next time. His answer made the whole class burst into laughter. Ms. Tong Fei stood there with a cold face, clearly not amused at all. Angrily, Tong Fei declared she would no longer manage Chu Qing. But she warned Song Kaoran that if he did not make the top 10 next time, she would also have to call his parents. The teacher pointed at Song Kaoran and angrily declared she would invite his parents to witness their daughter losing her academic future just because of a boy. Under pressure from the teacher, Chu Qing took full responsibility and offered to take the exam on behalf of Song Kaoran. The teacher agreed but set a harsh condition. If Chu Qing did not make the top 10, both of them would have to invite their parents and publicly admit their faults before the whole school on Monday morning. The teacher loudly emphasized the need to punish school-age love as a warning, leaving Chu Qing and Song Kaoran stunned. Song Kaoran blushed deeply, embarrassed under Chu Qing's gaze. He quietly wondered if she really liked him. A purple-haired female student was intently reading a book in class, her expression cold but focused. The quiet atmosphere was only broken by the news bell. A blonde female student ran in panic to report to the captain, the purple-haired girl. The bad news about handsome Chu Ting made the atmosphere tense. After hearing the news, the purple-haired girl became serious. Purple energy began to appear behind her, showing she was highly focused and ready to act. The hallway outside the classroom was bright with sunlight, creating a feeling that something was about to happen. The silence felt like a warning before a storm. Song Kaoran was surrounded by a group of female students. Standing in the middle of the circle, she anxiously asked, "What do you want to do?" Tension began to rise. A purple-haired female student, identified as Tang Zian, stepped forward in front of Song Kaoran with her group of classmates, her sharp gaze questioning. "Are you Song Kaoran?" Tao Yunao, Tang Zian's best friend, coldly interrupted with a loaded remark. "Are you trying to steal our captain's person?" Under pressure from the group, Song Kaoran panicked and stammered, unable to complete a sentence. Tang Zian didn't beat around the bush and went straight to the point. "Where is Chu Qing?" The group of male classmates were startled as they opened the classroom door and looked inside, discovering Chu Qing with his face down on the desk, unresponsive. Tang Zian hurried over, her eyes worried as she saw Chu Qing not moving. "Chu Qing, you..." She froze, confused when she saw his back trembling slightly. A question echoed in her mind. "Is he..." Crying, Tang Zian anxiously ran to the classroom, shaking Chu Qing's shoulder, who was resting his face on the desk, asking if he was okay. Chu Qing lifted his head sleepily, surprised to see Tang Zian, still looking sleepy and not understanding what was happening. Tang Zian blushed and explained that she came after hearing rumors, and invited Chu Qing to eat together. Song Kaoran hurriedly interrupted, bowed her head to apologize, and took all the blame upon herself. Chu Qing seriously asked Song Kaoran, why did she take the blame for him? Did she really like him? Song Kaoran, the shy girl with blue hair tied in 2 braids and twisted glasses, blushed under Chu Qing's gaze. He calmly observed her and thought silently. It seems my guess was right. Chu Qing gently pulled Kaoran closer, hugging her in a friendly gesture. He smiled reassuringly. I was just joking. You are a good person. We will always be friends. Song Kaoran nestled in Chu Qing's arms, her face flushed. Chu Qing lightly patted her back, his eyes quiet as he thought. I have lived 3 lifetimes, but this is the first time I have rejected someone. Tang Zian, the girl with pink hair tied askew, appeared with a serious expression. She silently watched the scene before her, her eyes clearly showing jealousy and hurt. In a brightly lit cafe, Tang Zian sat beside Chu Qing, while Tao Yunao, Zian's blonde-haired close friend, crossed his arms opposite them. The three faced each other in a heavy atmosphere as if an important conversation was about to begin. Tao Yu now angrily pointed at Chu Qing, loudly accusing. You only have a handsome face but dare to hug another girl in front of Ziyan. Apologize to her now. Chu Qing kept a calm smile and countered. You are Tao Yuno, right? With so many people chasing Tang Ziyan, why don't you tell her to apologize to me? Tao Yuno angrily retorted. Are you blaming Ziyan for not loving only you? Then he slammed the table and shouted. She doesn't spoil me, I am the one who will spoil her. After the argument, Tang Ziyan and Tao Yuno sat together in a cafe. Ziyan was silent, while Yuno tried to hold back laughter but his expression betrayed him. Tang Ziyan smiled gently. All right, I'll wait for you to spoil me, but you have to be better than me first, otherwise what will you spoil? Tao Yuno laughed heartily, unable to hide his joy. Chu Qing looked straight ahead, his eyes cold and full of determination. He said briefly, Okay, just wait. Tao Yuno slammed his hand on the table, warning. Even if it's a joke, don't get involved with other girls anymore, Chu Qing. Solve your own mess. And don't cause more trouble, got it? Not seeing any reaction from Chu Qing, Yuno shouted angrily. I'm talking to you, do you hear me? Immediately, Chu Qing grabbed Yuno's collar and pulled him strongly towards himself with icy cold eyes. Chu Qing pressed his face close to Tao Yuno's, teasingly asked, You tell me to stay away from other girls? So since you are a girl too, should I stay away from you? Tao Yuno blushed from embarrassment, his eyes shining with confusion as Chu Qing pressed him for an answer. Tang Ziyan intervened in time, decisively ordering, Enough, Yuno, you go first. Annoyed and embarrassed, Tao Yuno stood up abruptly, his face flushed, mumbling, Really? Tang Ziyan looked at Chu Qing and softly asked, I don't spoil or help you much. Do you hate me? Chu Qing replied calmly, I'm not like other men, don't expect anything special from me. But then Chu Qing took Ziyan's hand sincerely. I really like you, try leaning on me. Tang Ziyan was surprised and smiled gently. Really? I'll wait and see. Ziyan suddenly changed to a serious tone. By the way, I checked the formula in your house. It doesn't help with cultivation at all. Chu Qing was stunned, his eyes serious. Impossible, that is clearly a formula for cultivation. Ziyan looked at him and affirmed. Actually, it's poison. Tang Ziyan seriously explained. The poison formula is very special and not yet fully understood by the laboratory. However, for the Tang family, it holds extremely great value, to the point that they are willing to buy it back and give Chu Qing the right to set the price. Chu Qing calmly replied, Consider it a gift. But inside, he was secretly cautious, a formula that can be cultivated in another world, but here becomes a poison. Tang Ziyan immediately reacted. No, for our family it is extremely precious. If you give it away for free, it's nothing less than insulting me. Chu Qing quickly corrected. I didn't mean that. So what price do you think is reasonable? Ziyan decisively raised 2 fingers. 200 million RMB. The words rang out like a declaration of a high-value deal. Chu Qing was stunned and calculated mentally. 200 million. If I sell all the formulas I know, wouldn't I become a millionaire? Chu Qing agreed to Tang Ziyan's proposal, but also took the opportunity to suggest. He wanted to buy some medicinal herbs from the Tang family. In his heart, he was thinking about needing elixirs, which could only be bought from the Yi family for Aunt Yi's use. Tang Ziyan asked in surprise, Are you planning to refine and make the medicine yourself? Chu Qing immediately replied, Am I not allowed? Ziyan laughed with delight. Not only the Tang family, but this entire empire has never had a man make medicine. But if it's you, maybe it will be different. I'm really looking forward to it, Tilda. Chu Qing chewed his cake while thinking with dissatisfaction. This world is full of prejudice against men. Suddenly, a gentle hand touched Chu Qing's cheek, wiping away the crumbs. His face was stunned. His heart felt stolen in that sweet moment. Tang Ziyan suddenly put her finger in her mouth, her eyes sparkling, the gesture full of implication making the atmosphere ambiguous and seductive. Chu Qing was startled when she touched him, asking in surprise, What are you doing? Ziyan smiled teasingly. Isn't a boy supposed to be shy at this moment? Her eyes were full of mischief and initiative. Tang Ziyan placed her hand on Chu Qing's face, seriously advising, Stop practicing ancient martial arts. If you need to defend yourself, I will protect you. You don't look well at all. Is it because of practicing ancient martial arts? She handed him a tube of medicine. This is healing medicine. Chu Qing looked surprised at the small gift that contained great care. Tang Ziyan suddenly touched Chu Qing's thigh, an action that made the atmosphere between them awkward and full of innuendo. Ziyan warned seriously, If I find out you're still practicing ancient martial arts, we're breaking up. I don't want my man to be infertile or unable to perform. Ziyan's words struck Chu Qing like thunder. He was stunned and thought, Infertile, unable to perform, does practicing ancient martial arts really affect that function? Night fell. Under the crescent moon sky, the quiet apartment complex lit up, signaling a scene change to Chu Qing's home. Chu Qing sighed as he opened the door. "I'm home," he muttered in his head, worried about not coming home last night and the possible reaction from his parents. As soon as he stepped inside, Chu Qing was immediately grabbed by his father by the collar and pulled back with an angry look, making him panic. Chu Qing's father took a slipper and hit him repeatedly for not coming home all night. Chu Qing cried out begging for mercy, admitting his fault. As the beating continued, a voice rang out causing the father to pause. The person who appeared called him uncle. A long-haired, black-haired woman, Yi Chengxi, entered, gently admitting her fault and explaining that she was drunk last night and Chu Qing was just taking care of her. Chu Qing was stunned. In his head, a series of questions about spending the night with a woman echoed. He panicked, worried his parents would misunderstand. The girl's name, Yi Chengxi, escaped his lips in surprise. The father was so angry that he grabbed Chu Qing by the collar and dragged him away for not coming home all night. He struck his son with a slipper while shouting, "Do you even know how to come home?" Chu Qing panicked and begged, "I was wrong, please stop hitting me." At that moment, a voice rang out causing him to stop. He turned around, still angry but had stopped hitting. A black-haired girl appeared, calmly taking the blame and revealing she was drunk last night and was cared for by Chu Qing. She was Yi Chengxi. Both Chu Qing and his father were shocked. He thought confusedly, "Yi Chengxi, why is she here? I was alone with a girl all night. What will my parents think?" The father sat curled up in the corner, his face dark and despairing, believing his son had been ruined. In the room, Chu Qing questioned Yi Chengxi why she came here. She smiled, handed him a tube of medicine, and said it was healing medicine for him. Chu Qing smiled brightly, holding the medicine bottle and teasingly affirming that he needed everything she gave, as if to dispel the previous misunderstanding. He was surprised when Yi Chengxi said she would teach him how to maintain the Vong Zion bullet, a technique more precious than life itself. Despite his worries, Chu Qing agreed to learn. Yi Chengxi gently took Chu Qing's hand, reassuring him to relax, creating a sense of trust and closeness. They sat facing each other on the bed, hands touching. A green energy radiated around them, creating a magical and sacred cultivation scene. A close-up of their connected hands showed a strong energy flow between them, confirming their coordination and harmony in energy transmission. While transmitting energy, Yi Chengxi suddenly coughed harshly, her body seeming to suffer a violent internal reaction. Chu Qing hurriedly supported Yi Chengxi, anxiously asking when he saw her fall painfully onto the bed. Seeing the serious situation, Chu Qing immediately gave Yi Chengxi medicine to stabilize her meridian. After giving her the medicine, Chu Qing's gaze became pensive, suspecting something was wrong just happened. Yi Chengxi revealed that her meridians were damaged during the energy transmission, but fortunately, the Tang family medicine saved her in time. Chu Qing recalled the last time he treated Aunt Yi Chengxi with aura. She did not feel any pain, but this time was different, prompting him to try again to check what was happening inside her body. Chu Qing circulated his energy, transmitting aura into Yi Chengxi. The golden energy spread throughout the space, surrounding them both like a dense energy layer. After the energy transmission, Chu Qing anxiously asked her, "Does it still hurt?" His eyes tense, not leaving Yi Chengxi's expression. Yi Chengxi gently smiled, her face softening. She replied that it no longer hurt and even felt very comfortable. Chu Qing muttered, "No wonder Tang Ziyan said this formula is toxic." He began to suspect potential side effects from the medicine he had used. Suddenly, Chu Qing thought, between men and women in this world, abnormalities in meridians are the biggest difference. I must see this ancient martial cultivation method with my own eyes. Yi Chengxi snuggled close to Chu Qing, coquettishly asking, "Can we do it one more time? It really feels so comfortable." Suddenly the door burst open. Chu Qing's father appeared, shouting, "Get up immediately and fix your clothes, or I'll turn into a villain." He scolded while pointing at his son. "Didn't you say you would study? Why are you learning on the bed like this?" Chu Qing panicked. "Dad, it's not what you think," Yi Chengxi quickly greeted. "I wasn't feeling well, so I temporarily lay on Chu Qing's bed. I asked permission to leave first. I'll visit again next time." After Yi Chengxi left, Chu Qing's father declared firmly that nothing happened between them, then yawned, signaling he wanted to sleep. Chu Qing knelt beside the bed, deeply pondering the difference in meridians between men and women in this world. He told himself this was a great secret needing long-term investigation. While carefully inspecting items around the room, Chu Qing discovered an important object, an ancient sword sheath with mysterious patterns. He exclaimed, sword sheath. At the same time, elsewhere under the dim moonlight, a sealed area with warning signs appeared. It seemed that an event or secret was being hidden there. At the crime scene, a mysterious stranger noticed only a small amount of blood remained where the Vong Zion bullet was fired, indicating very strange traces. A blonde, curly-haired girl wearing a cloak silently pondered. The culprit was not like an ancient martial arts master, but more like a cultivator. Could that person be a man? In response to her subordinate's question, the blonde girl quickly denied it and ordered checks of hospitals, black markets, and the Shizhen auction house. She believed the culprit was still in Kim Mon. The subordinate in a blue cloak confirmed the order and asked if they would go to Kim Mon immediately. The blonde girl confirmed and also revealed the real reason. Her fiancé, arranged by the family, was also in Kim Mon, the son of the sixth daughter of the Chu family. She heard he was very cool and wanted to see him in person. In the laboratory, Chenzai smiled smugly. After the exchange with Chu Qing, she seemed satisfied, having reached a favorable agreement for herself. A sharp look appeared on her face, signaling a plan gradually taking shape. Elsewhere, a black-haired male student bent over, sneezing suddenly. While holding a strange puzzle piece in his hand, he curiously wondered if anyone was mentioning him. The quiet room made his thoughts even more vague. The ancient sword sheath with mysterious patterns suddenly glowed, emitting a sparkling light as if piercing through space, signaling an awakening or activation of new power. Under the blazing golden light, Chu Qing sat cross-legged, entering a deep meditation in a highly focused state. In front of him, the sword sheath activated powerful energy, creating a force field that sucked in the surrounding light. Chu Qing's face showed astonishment, his eyes wide with suspicion as he sensed something unusual from the newly appeared sword sheath. The sheath and the sword began to merge. Chu Qing silently thought that with this sheath, his sword would no longer be damaged, and he could restore the sword to its original state. Chu Qing waved his hand to control the energy remotely, channeling his qi into the fiercely spinning sheath. The sword and sheath gradually resonated, creating a mysterious new power that was about to form. Chu Qing summoned a mysterious demon mask, its red light flashing with great authority. He recalled the encounter with the sword messenger, who had clearly seen his face. To avoid being recognized in the future, Chu Qing decided to use this mask to conceal his identity. Chu Qing sat pondering the ancient wine in his hand. He wondered why it caused so many masters to risk their lives fighting over it. While still lost in thought, the message alert from the phone on the table caught his attention. It was a message from Deep Tran Hai. She called him Zio Ching Ching in a suggestive tone and invited him to dinner with her mother at the Yuji restaurant. Chu Qing blushed and shouted inwardly, "This naughty girl." Under the moonlight, Chu Qing arrived at Yuji restaurant, where he was invited to dine with Yi Chengxi and her mother. The dinner took place in a polite atmosphere, the three sitting around the table exchanging initial pleasantries. Yi Chengxi's mother, a woman with a strong presence, asked Chu Qing about the combat enhancement medicine he had used. She was concerned about the increasing activity from the Li family clan. Chu Qing calmly replied that he was still waiting for medicinal ingredients and expected to finish making the medicine next week. Mrs. Yi nodded and asked about the price he wanted. Ignoring money, Chu Qing made a simple request: to borrow a traditional martial arts secret technique from the Yi family for research. Chu Qing was surprised to see both Yi Chengxi and her mother fall silent after his request to borrow the Yi family's martial arts secret. He wondered if he had said something wrong. Yi Chengxi's mother immediately reacted strongly. She declared that the ancestral secret technique was more important than life itself, recorded in the blood of ancestors, and absolutely could not be passed to outsiders. Chu Qing was confused, wondering if the ancient martial arts training method was really that important to cause such a serious reaction from the Yi family. The woman in black calmly explained, "If a man trains ancient martial arts, the result will be useless. I advise you not to waste your effort." Rejected, Chu Qing pondered deeply. A question arose in his mind. Why is it said that men will encounter trouble if they practice ancient martial arts? Yi Chengxi wondered, if Chu Qing became a member of the Yi family, could he learn the ancient martial arts technique? Her mother thoughtfully replied, "Maybe, but only after Chu Qing marries my daughter." Chu Qing immediately reacted strongly. With a serious look, he flatly refused. "I cannot get married," the purple-haired woman, Yi Chengxi's mother, sternly stated. "Marriage is a rule from the ancestors of the Yi family. If you cannot comply, then don't even mention the martial arts technique." Yi Chengxi looked down in disappointment. Her eyes gradually grew sad as she realized that helping Chu Qing access the ancient martial arts secret was hopeless without an engagement. Chu Qing clenched his fists, his gaze resolute. Is there really no way for a man to practice ancient martial arts? No matter what, I must find the answer. Night fell and Chu Qing pondered before the modern villa. The burden of 2 million in debt forced him to seek out Jia Yu, someone who could help change his fate. In the brightly lit room, Jia Yu, the silver-haired young man with a mysterious smile, raised his glass and teased Chu Qing about his sudden wealth, suspecting he was smuggling spirit stones. Chu Qing dismissed the suspicion and went straight to the point. He wanted a different ancient martial arts training method. But Jia Yu warned that this secret technique was not easy to obtain and wondered why Chu Qing, who had trained before, needed to change methods. Chu Qing frankly admitted that there was something wrong with his current method. Jia Yu laughed, emphasizing that ancient martial arts were not meant for men because the structure of their meridians was incompatible. Confused and angry, Chu Qing did not understand why everyone prevented men from practicing ancient martial arts. Only then did Jia Yu explain that it was a tacit taboo that Chu Qing had never been warned about. Jia Yu's final explanation struck like a thunderbolt. If Chu Qing wanted to practice ancient martial arts, he had to castrate himself. He froze, his face pale, never having considered such a harsh condition.